Welcome to the GCN Show.
Welcome to the GCN Show, brought to you by Wiggle.
This week, are cyclists weak? Plenty to suggest that yes, we are right here, but we also have some evidence to say that that might not be completely true.
I'll bring you the latest update on my quest to go from zero to hero, which last week actually included 2 rides that I did outdoors.
Yeah, and amongst much more, we also have news of research that once again opens up the helmet debate.
Not again.
Sorry, but it's there. This week in the world of cycling, we learned that Chris Froome is pioneering a new cycling discipline.
Vamos, berraquito, que usted la tiene toda, papito. Vamos, vamos, vamos. Con todo, pues, papito.
Yes, that's a time trial bike on gravel. Expect dedicated bikes in the shops in time for summer.
We've already got a name for them as well, haven't we? Time trail bikes.
Yeah.
Which we're very pleased indeed with. We also learned this week that I can go down a hill just as fast as 10-time world downhill champion, Nico Vullios.
Fair play, mate. Actually, hang on a minute, Dan. That's a road, and you're on a road bike, and he's on a downhill mountain bike. That's not strictly.
That's all true, but I'm going to take it anyway. But in all seriousness, last week was the first time I ever got to see Nico Vullios up close going downhill on a mountain bike, and it's seriously impressive.
Yeah. We've got a video with Nico coming up very soon. Truly one of the world's greatest ever cyclists, even if he's not quite as good as Dan at going downhill. Now, lastly this week, we learned that Vincenzo Nibali is a bloody good sport.
3, 2, 1, via. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 14, 15, 16, 17, attenzione, 17, non male, non male per niente. Potresti quasi sfidare Peter Sagan, Cioè, io te lo dico.
Fair play to Italian presenter Alla Marangoni for persuading Vincenzo Nibali to even take that challenge in the first place. The result, as you can see, not too bad. In 20 seconds, Vincenzo Nibali managed 17 push-ups.
Not too bad. I think that's brilliant. The guy's won 4 Grand Tours. I wouldn't have expected him to do 1, let alone 17. So yeah, fair play, Vincenzo. You can probably imagine what's coming next, given that we're a fairly competitive bunch, even if we haven't got the talent to back it up. Just how do we compare to Vincenzo Nibali? Not on the bike, we kind of know the answer to that one already, but in push-ups.
Yes, so we've got all the GCN presenters we can together to do this challenge. It's going to be the quickest GCN presenter challenge ever, and it's time.
20 is quite a lot of press-ups though. How many pull-ups can you do in 20 seconds?
Go! 1,
Is that what?
2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6,
Nice, Ollie.
7, 8, 5, 6, 7, 8.
Oh my god, no way!
11, 12, 13, 14,
13, 14, 15,
17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 6, 7, 8,
Flipping heck.
9, 10,
20 seconds gone. 13.
16,
Are these
17, 18.
I slowed down because I thought you'd run out of time.
Counting your press-ups, not the time. 17, 18, 19.
Bloody hell, mate. Good effort.
Didn't breathe once during that. 24, 25, 26, 27.
Wow!
28. 28. 8. 9. 10.
Go on, son.
10. Sorry. So I'm not going to give you the last one, it's 10.
Finger hurts so much.
16, 17, 18, 19. Stop. 19.
Get out of here, shark.
But I'd like a bit of a judge's inquiry into John Cannings, if we can. Can we have an action replay of that first push-up? Yeah, as we suspected, that's actually a worm, not a push-up, isn't it? So 12 and a worm for Cannings.
He's got a bad finger, hasn't he? But poor lad, I almost couldn't give him a count due to laughing too much.
Yeah, right, and if you're wondering where Emma and Chris are, they're conveniently on holiday today, but don't worry, they're not going to escape. We'll track them down.
Oh, we're also going to track down the Spanish presenters who are conveniently on siesta. I've got a feeling Emma's going to do pretty well at this challenge.
Former world champion Emma Pooley, I've got a sneaking suspicion as well.
Fiercely competitive, isn't she?
Yeah.
I think, though, the question that we've got to ask ourselves now, given the results for all of us, barring Hank, is, are cyclists weak?
Well, yes, if you look at the world record for press-ups in a minute, which currently stands at 152, clearly we don't fare so well. If you extrapolate that out, you get just over 50 push-ups in 20 seconds.
Which is crazy.
That is crazy fast, isn't it?
But not utterly surprising, really, that we are quite weak, because us as cyclists, well, we are generally fit, but not necessarily strong. We often talk about a rider being strong, but what we really mean is that they can put out a decent amount of power for a fairly long period of time. But strength is not the same as power.
No, absolutely not. I would imagine most of you out there will be able to do 450 watts, but can you do it for an hour like Rowan Dennis? Probably not, I would suspect. Now, it's not because you don't have the strength to do 450 watts, but you haven't got what we'd call the fitness to do it for longer.
There are different types of cyclists, though, that are strong, aren't there? Like track sprinters or BMX riders. For example, here is Sir Chris Hoy, a couple of years post-retirement, squatting 190 kilograms 4 times.
Wow. And you've got fellow track sprinter, man with the largest quadriceps in cycling, Robert Forsterman, also making light work of a set of stairs whilst doing a warm-up.
And then you have mountain bikers too. For example, world cross-country mountain bike champion Kate Courtney here displaying not just strength, but incredible composure and balance.
We've seen that road cyclists here are weak, but would we actually benefit from doing stuff, well, specifically like that Kate Courtney's doing?
I think undoubtedly we would, and I think most pro road riders are doing something similar in the gym to Kate Courtney. Not as well as she's doing it, I hasten to add, but I think it will benefit them as long as they don't put weight on, because a couple of kilos of extra muscle is probably going to negate any benefits you get from being a bit stronger.
That's right, and I guess it's discipline specific, isn't it? As a climber, you wouldn't even take that risk of going to the gym, I would imagine. Sprinters, meanwhile, traditionally they're more muscled, aren't they? But I suspect that that muscle up top comes more from their body type than it does from any kind of specific need to actually have.
Yeah, comes fairly naturally, doesn't it? Yeah. Anyway, we're digressing seriously here, Si, from the serious subject of push-ups.
Of course.
So, we think this is a challenge that could go far and wide very quickly. We'd like you to get involved as well. You can do so by getting a video done of yourself, doing as many push-ups as you can in 20 seconds, and uploading it to social media with the hashtag GCN Pushup. And also, let us know who you would like to see from the pro peloton taking this challenge.
That's right, Vincenzo Nibali has already nominated Sonny Colbrelli, so the challenge, the gauntlet, is thrown down for him. But yeah, get involved. We'll use whatever kind of arm twisting we possibly can to get those pros to do it as well.
We're going to use some good old-fashioned social media peer pressure and bullying.
That's right. Who would you like to see, Dan?
Good question. I'd probably go for a couple of climbers like Wout Poels or Fabio Aru.
Oh, the big guns.
Yeah.
Any reason why, Dan?
Because they haven't got big guns, Si.
Yeah. To be fair, I mean, they'd probably be able to beat me, wouldn't they?
I think they probably could do, yeah. Who would you nominate?
Well, I'd be interested, actually, to see whether the cannibal herself, Marianne Vos, can back it up off the bike as well as on the bike, and also maybe head-to-head against Tiffany Cromwell. We see her doing a lot of yoga on Instagram. Cool, yeah. So yeah, or indeed, battle of the big German sprinters, Greipel versus Kittel. They've got some biceps between them, haven't they? So,
or the ultimate heads-up would be Caleb Ewan against Connor Dunn, wouldn't it? Imagine that.
That's it. And I tell you what would be interesting, as well as seeing the battle for the greatest number of push-ups, can anyone get worse than me I mean, can you only do less than 10 push-ups in 20 seconds? Because we want to see those as well, don't we, really? Hey, who's really the greatest cyclist by not being able to do push-ups?
Stay tuned, hopefully, for much more on this subject next week.
That's right. Given that the subject is weak, actually, it follows on quite nicely that we're now going to catch up with Dan's latest vlog, 0 to hopefully slightly above average.
I see what you did there. Vlog came out very shortly indeed. Before it comes up, I did watch the show last week, so I did see what you and Ollie said about me, and it has been noted.
First time I finished a workout by 5:15 in the morning. Very busy week this week, including some travel at work. So after consultation with Sir Neil, we've moved Tuesdays and Wednesday sessions to Monday and Tuesday. But unfortunately that means I need to do them very early. I'm obviously addicted.
Slight confession, I'm not going to be doing all my Sufferfest training in my Suffer cave this week because I've unfortunately had to come to the south of France to do some filming. I did try to get up for the second morning in a row at 4:30 to do the second session of the week on the indoor trainer, but the alarm went off and I just thought, no, not going to be doing the same thing again today. So I've plugged what that session is into my Wahoo Bolt here, and I'm about to do it up the Col de la Madone. And you can feel a little bit sorry for me because it's way colder than I was expecting it to be over here. Currently 3 degrees and apparently some snow at the top. I'll crack on. Oh, man. Well, that's session 2 of the week done. And my first ride outside, actually, pretty much, since I started this training 3.5 weeks ago. In an amazing display of arrogance, I decided that I might run out of climb if I just carried on up. So I turned around and went down for 3 minutes after my first set of intervals. And I think I finished my second set of intervals about halfway up the Madone. It's been a blooming long ride up to the top here afterwards. But I am also going to make another confession. I'm now going to ride back to the hotel, which is another 10Ks or so, mainly downhill. So this will also be my longest ride so far.
Last session of the week, back indoors. On Saturday. This is called the Tool Shed mashup. It's mashup between 2 different Sufferfest sessions. I'm through the first 2 blocks of intervals, and now I've got some that look horrific in front of me, and still 37 minutes to go. Longest session so far. If I look shattered, it's because I am. I'm really looking forward to 2 rest days now, I must admit. That was the hardest one yet by a long way for me.
I'm getting closer to hero side. 272 watts for 52 minutes.
You will always be a hero in my eyes, mate. Don't you worry.
Right, let's move on now to our weekly GCN inspiration. It's your chance to win one of 3 Wiggle voucher amounts: £50 for third, £75 for second, and a whopping £100 of voucher to spend on anything you'd like at the Wiggle online shop if you get first place. 2 ways to enter: either GCN Inspiration as a hashtag on Instagram or using the uploader that's in the description down below. We've chosen our favourite 3 from this week, and they are...
Well, it's a snow theme this week in homage to the polar vortex hovering over the US, and indeed our own little mini polar vortex here. Yeah, we got some snow. Right, so in third place we've got Marzia, taken this shot from Italy, the Abruzzo region. That is absolutely mega, isn't it? Look at that, minus 18 apparently, even in Italy. So there we go. That's a truly inspirational shot, isn't it?
It does look amazing, doesn't it?
Yeah.
£50 to you, Marzia. In second place, it's Chris, receiving £75. This is from the North Yorkshire Moors and the end of their Sunday gravel ride, which finishes with a descent at 18% average.
I tell you what, I wouldn't fancy that on those conditions, really. But there we go. That is the smattering of snow, therefore, in evidence there. Still, kind of a cool shot. Definitely makes you want to go ride. Anyway, lastly, this man here deserves £100 of Wiggle vouchers, 100%. This is Christopher A.D. Nelson. Just a short 13-mile ride at minus 29 degrees Fahrenheit. That's nearly minus 34 centigrade. Look at that, a frozen face. Fair play.
I'm not sure this is going to inspire me to go out on the bike side,
Well,
if I'm perfectly honest.
It wouldn't inspire me to ride in minus 34 degrees Celsius, but it would inspire me to get out the door when it's +3.
Yes, or for me to get on the indoor trainer for an hour when I don't really want to suffer. But yeah, well done to you, Chris. £100 on its way to you. Don't forget to keep entering your photos. We love going through them before the show each week. Hashtag GCN Inspiration, or the uploader is in the link down below. The description down below.
Do you think he's got a beard under there? Do you think that's just frozen onto his skin?
God, he's probably got no skin under there.
I once went for a ride with Dan Craven in the fog, and he ended up looking like a wet Labrador after about half an hour. Just like droplets all over his beard.
That was grotty.
It's now time for cycling shorts.
We shall start cycling shorts with news that Santa can't, still can.
Yay!
We haven't used that joke once this week.
No, she's not had a very good season, has she, by her standards?
No, she's not won a single World Cup race, but she got her timing perfect, and on Saturday became the world champion for a third year on the trot.
Yeah, and Matthew van der Poel on Sunday finally managed to reclaim the title of World Cyclo-cross champion for the first time since 2015, actually, which, given how much he's won since that point, it's kind of incredible. He's only got 2 titles.
Yeah, I know. Thoroughly deserved, though. He's won 27 out of 29 races that he's competed in this year, which is absolutely bonkers.
Yeah, and one of those 2 races that he didn't win, that was my fault.
You predicted him to win, didn't you?
I did, yeah. I said...
Didn't even come close.
Hands down, Matthew van der Poel's going to win that race. Mainly because he's won everything, and no, he finished 20th or something.
Yes.
So yeah, I'm sorry about that, Matthew. That was my fault.
Anyway, sticking with the subject of world champions, I'm not sure if you noticed this side, but the world road champion, Alejandro Valverde, has got some new custom kicks from team shoe sponsor Physique. You ready?
Yeah.
Check these out.
Nice. Now, I am a firm believer in that the rainbow stripes are somewhat sacred, but I would totally wear those. The rainbowness is super subtle. They just look fantastic, don't they? Oh, amazing. Right, now sticking with racing, do you remember a while back I said that Geraint Thomas was going to ride the Giro d'Italia in 2019? Yeah.
I do remember that, but it was a rumour that Geraint Thomas himself denied.
Well, yeah, technicality. Anyway, the Giro organisers then backed me up, didn't they? They said that Geraint would race the 2019 Giro d'Italia, and now Chris Froome has waded in. In an interview, he said that the Giro would be perfect for Geraint Thomas. So
I can just imagine that telephone conversation. Geraint, it was great helping you to Tour victory last year, but I really think you should concentrate on the tour that I don't want to do next year, the Giro. You'll absolutely smash it. It's so suited to you.
Oh, you need it in your Palmares, Geraint. Yeah, that conversation. Anyway, we will see, won't we, whether he does race.
Yes.
Vive le Tour.
Away from racing, there's an intriguing piece of ongoing research being carried out at the moment, which could well add even more fuel to the fire of the helmet debate, as if that were needed. It comes courtesy of the Journal of Community Health.
I love that one. I really love that one. Anyway, it was led by Professor Stephen J. Mooney of Washington University, and it looks into helmet use amongst people riding public hire bikes. Now, apparently, only 20% of people on public hire bikes are wearing helmets, as opposed to 90% of people who are riding their own bikes. Now, a little bit of common sense, I guess, would tell you that that's probably because you're not always carrying around a helmet just in case you ride a public hire bike. I mean, I know that I don't do that.
You do exactly do that.
You are.
You said that on the penny farthing video.
But I will be honest, when I set out this morning, I did not expect to need my Assos Speedfast Kinsu and Cask Mistral helmet, but what a lucky coincidence that they're in my kit bag nevertheless.
Right, I do. I mean, I've got several just in case, but most people probably don't. Anyway, we're digressing, because actually the interesting bit is the fact the researchers haven't found an increase in injury rate among those cyclists that are not riding with head protection. Now that, I stress, is not to say that helmets don't protect you in the event of a fall, because clearly they do, and clearly we think that you should ride with them, but maybe it's because actually the risks of urban cycling, once again, are being reported disproportionately. That's what I'm hoping anyway.
Yeah, that is interesting,
isn't it?
Much like, in fact, this next piece of research from Peter de Vrena over at Ghent University, who has been looking back through 45 years of footage from the classic, that is, Liège-Bastogne-Liège, to examine how plants have been responding to climate change. And it really is quite interesting, Si, because apparently in the 80s, the trees didn't have any leaves on for Liège-Bastogne-Liège, and now they do.
Wow. I tell you what, I wish I'd thought about that when I was at university. Imagine, I'm just going to look at 45 years worth of bike race
Yes.
footage just to see if I can see a pattern in the leaves. Anyway, apparently leaf emergence 2 weeks earlier now.
Yeah,
That's what they said.
I don't know, that was a slightly tenuous link to cycling, but it is interesting that ecologists are using race footage to study climate change.
And I think it's a great excuse that we should all remember, just in case we get busted looking at bike racing when we're at work.
That's
There's
true.
always a reason why you can watch it.
On to some news of our own now. You will remember, of course, that we've got the first ever GCN event happening later this year, in March to be precise, so it's only a few weeks away. There will be 4 days of riding and some quite questionable banter too.
Yeah, but we've got some great news in terms of an announcement. The top nutritionist, Nigel Mitchell, is going to be out there joining us. Now, he is formerly of Team Sky, of British Cycling, now currently with EF Education First, among many other projects he's got going. And he's going to be there giving us a talk and also doing a Q&A session. So there we go, that's something to look forward to.
And if I know Nigel, he'll also be out riding with us too. So
I'm
more
sure he will.
time for you to ask him your nutrition-based questions. Also, if you book by the 11th of February, you will be entered into a prize draw with some pretty cool prizes, including a GCN Pro Team kit and 12 months membership to the GCN Club.
Yeah, and all the people that have already booked are, of course, in that prize draw already. Nice little incentive there, but I would have thought that the fact there aren't many places left would be all the incentive you'd need to get in and book quickly. But there we go.
Let's hope they fix the road that had a bit of a landslide last week for the Challenge Mallorca.
Yeah.
It looks like it needs some amount of repair. Anyway, moving on. Last week, the show was based around riding indoors versus outdoors, and basically, Simon from Sweden has stuck 2 fingers up at that very subject by taking his indoor trainer and riding it outdoors.
Yeah, the question is, do you get all the benefits of outdoors and indoors, or none of the benefits of either, Simon?
None.
This week on the Tech Show, we've got some bling new shoes, some cycling kit that's made out of recycled materials, your upgrades, the Bike Vault, and a new addition to one of our favourite lists in tech.
What list is that?
The UCI band equipment list.
Oh yes, my favourite actually. Also ever increasing too. And also, Ollie, I did hear a cheeky rumour that, well, you've actually stitched yourself up rather than the rest of us trying to stitch you up for a change, because you've set yourself a little challenge, haven't you?
Yeah, in a silly attempt to make myself accountable to you and the viewers, I've publicly going to declare that I'm going to try and ride up Sacalobra, the famous climb in Mallorca, in under 30 minutes. Now, this is something that I've been trying to do pretty much my entire life and have continually failed at. And I've worked out that that sort of time on that climb represents pretty much the limit of what I can do physically. So I'm going to try as best I can and really commit to it and see if I can do it.
I'm looking forward to that. But also, you are going to need some tech for that, aren't you? So we're going to have a deep delve into that on Thursday, aren't we?
I'm going to need all the help I can get, John.
Yeah, just don't cheat. Don't be a Dan Lloyd. Anyway, right, join us on Thursday for the Tech Show.
Next up, it's Hack /Bodge of the week. Hashtag GCN Hack if you would like to get involved. First one comes from CC Velo, who've shown us the ultimate winter bike made out of what looks like half a radiator.
That's not a bad shout, that. Imagine a nice bit of insulation there, a bit heated up.
Do you think it actually works? Or do you think it's just a novelty?
Well, if it was an e-bike, you could probably use the battery, but...
It looked rather aero, I have to say.
It does, doesn't it? Yeah, not UCI legal, unfortunately. But
I think we have seen something similar before, haven't we? But it's actually a full radiator on the previous bike, so that one looks rather more like a bike frame.
Is it Hack or a Bodge, though?
Let's go for Hack.
Hack, there we go. Right, next up we've got Paul, who sent this in. He said he saw this out in the Clent Hills, which is out in the UK here. Apparently when all the lights are on, it can be seen from space. That is quite the array of lights there, isn't it?
Yes, I don't know why, and don't ride that on the road with them all on, and yada yada yada.
To be fair though, probably emitting more heat than that radiator, so not bad for winter there.
Possibly,
Just put your arms on any of those
It's an e-bike as well. I'm saying it's a Bodge, just don't see the reason why.
Yeah, no, Bodge.
Moving on, this is Peter over in Sydney, who said his daughter's getting too fast for him to walk with home from school. So in a desperate attempt to carry her bike on his, he attached an old bike rack to the pannier rack. In my mind, it was the ultimate hack. After one terrifying ride, it is decidedly a Bodge. So he's decided it for us, Si.
Yeah, I'm not sure quite how that works. If you ride your bike, your daughter's presumably hovering good couple of feet off the ground.
Well, no, I think he's trying to transport his daughter's bike to school so that she can ride back and he can ride back with her. This is something I can sympathise with, because with my children, I often wanted to ride back with them and didn't want to leave the bike at school. So I would carry it on my shoulder up to a certain age, at which point it was too heavy and cumbersome. And then, well, I didn't really have a solution after that.
Well, there we go. So a solution is needed for this particular challenge. But anyway, fair play for the ingenuity, even if you have had to conclude yourself that it's a bodge. Right, this one sent in from Colin. This is genius, frankly. His seat tube separated from his bottom bracket, and then to fix it, so he didn't have to walk home, he utilised zip ties among Post-its and ballpoint pens and went to work. This repair got him 2 miles home, apparently, very carefully avoiding bumps and sharp turns. But that's not, I've never seen a bike frame being repaired quite such a way by zip ties.
It's impressive, but I can't help but think I probably would have walked home by the time he'd managed to do that.
I want to know where the ballpoint pens come in. But there we go. Anyway, yeah, that's...
I'm saying it's a bodge because it was 2 miles. If that had got him back 50 miles, I would say hack. But he could have just walked home 2 miles.
That is a fair point, actually, Dan, isn't it?
Yeah, moving on. Well, I've never seen anything like this before. This is from Paul Ferguson. Nature's bike lock. That bike's obviously been there for quite some time.
Wow. Well, that's incredible, isn't it?
You know it's incredible when Si is lost for words, isn't he?
Yeah, there we go. Right, well, what an amazing way to end up hack or bodge there. Was it a hack, actually? No, it's not really, it's a bodge, isn't it?
Well, it's a complete bodge, yeah. You can't use your bike.
No, and you could have stolen it for quite a long time prior to that tree growing up. Anyway, never mind. I thought it was amazing. Nature is great, isn't it? If you would like to submit something for hack or bodge, then you can do so using the hashtag GCNHack on social media, or send it to us direct from the uploader.
It's caption competition time now, which you might have noticed was absent, Si, from last week's show.
It was indeed. Sadly, the photo we'd chosen then got removed from the internet. That's how good it was. And the caption was brilliant. Yeah, unfortunately, that's just lost to the cutting room floor.
What a shame. So anyway, the winner from 2 weeks ago, who captioned this picture of Heinrich Hausler at the Santos Tour Down Under, is Pratalax, who said, "I call it the Heinrich Manoeuvre." It was an obvious one, but it's a very good one.
I really laughed last week when we filmed it. Unfortunately now I haven't got used to the caption for another week. Yeah, but I thought it was great.
Anyway, this GCN Camelback water bottle will be on its way to you, Pratalax, as soon as you give us your address over as a message on Facebook.
Right, what's coming up this week, Dan? What's the photo?
Well, this week we've got a picture from the Challenge Mallorca. We have thought of a caption, haven't we, Si?
We have,
We're going to perform it to you now. Is that a 4-inch then?
Yeah.
Thought so. If you can do better than that, leave your captions in the comment section down below and we'll choose our favourite this time next week. Some comments of the week for you now before we tell you what's coming up on the channel over the next 7 days. Some great ones underneath your 10,000 calorie challenge, which came out on Sunday, so I still don't know exactly why you did it, but nevertheless. Dignified Waffle wrote, "I don't have a witty comment worthy of being read out on the GCN show, but bloody hell, that was a good video." It's a great compliment, isn't it? It was a good video, I enjoyed it too.
And quite a good comment as well, really, and it got you on the GCN show. Right, this one I like from Pumpkin Village Maple. "Thanks for taking up the challenge. What's next? A 12-hour massage in a hot tub? Take care, Al." Tell you what, Al, that does sound great. And then I also really like this one from Evil Knox 8. "If by burn you mean consume, and by ride you mean sit on the couch, then yes, I can." Yeah, I've been doing that since I got back, actually.
There were some corkers too underneath Emma's video about bike paths. Particularly loved this one from Ryan Osler. "What's the difference between a cycle lane and a cycle path? One is for parking your car and the other is for walking your dog." It's funny because it's so true.
Oh, that is, yeah. And then, just because Dan missed out on the Ollie running bants from last week.
So I almost refused to allow me to have more running comments in, but I put my foot down. So I've got 2 for you. Martin Mainan, "To see Ollie run is reminding me of Phoebe running in Central Park in Friends." And finally from Dean Sinclair, "Next video, can Ollie burn 10,000 calories in one run?"
Yeah, to be fair, I mean, I'll let you have them in, Dan, because it's rare that someone makes you running actually look quite cool. So,
Yes.
So there we go. Interestingly, a lot of questions under the 10,000 calorie one about whether Ollie had actually burnt 10,000 calories when he Everested. And I hate to say it, but yes, he did.
Oh, did he?
Yeah, he did quite comfortably
know
over.
that.
Yeah, it was a Herculean effort on his part, everything.
was.
And yeah, he puts James and me in the shade.
Oh, wow. I didn't know that bit.
We don't have to tell him that.
Right then, coming up over the next 7 days, we'll start with Wednesday. It is how to ride in a pace line. Do that right and it can feel much easier and you can go much faster. That's well worth watching. I'll get my words out in the end. On Thursday, we've got UCI rules explained. Now that could be an extremely lengthy video, but it's not because Ollie's managed to make it concise and understandable for people like Si and myself. So I'll be definitely watching that. Friday, as ever, is Ask GCN Anything, this time with Chris and James.
Yeah, on Saturday, we've got a real-time yoga session, haven't we? Because we're kind of all getting a little bit into yoga. So we're making a video for you to follow along to. So that's pretty cool. And then on Sunday, we have got a video about the stress epidemic and how cycling might be able to help boost your mental health.
Monday we'll be back with the GCN Racing News Show, and of course Tuesday back in the set for another GCN show. We've also got 3 live cyclocross races this week on Wednesday, Saturday and Sunday over on the Facebook page, so make sure you keep your eyes out for that too.
Right then, we are getting on towards the end of the GCN show, unfortunately, but of course we still have time for Extreme Corner. And this week, we've pilfered something from the vaults of GMBN. This is A-Wire sending it hard in Jamaica.
I'ma send it. Whoa, wow.
Ooh, that looked pouchy.
Extremely painful,
Yeah.
if anything.
I mean, good commitment from A-Line, but yeah, I kind of was hoping that he might land one.
I thought he was going to land it by the end, but he didn't. But he was still better at doing front flips than you are at doing push-ups.
Well, yeah, fair enough.
Sorry.
Remarkable that you even do front flips on a bike, isn't it? Or not you, but one. It just doesn't look like it should be done.
No, maybe he needs to do some strength training before he can complete it.
Probably. Yeah.
Right, that is the end for this week's GCN show. We'll be back next week.
That's right. In the meantime, make sure you check out that 10,000 calorie challenge video if you haven't already seen it.